Hello, I'm here again with a troll through my music collection. This morning it's Neil Young. I haven't got a vast collection, but I got a little collection of maybe some interest if you're interested in Neil. It's vinyl and CDs. The CDs I got here in three box sets and we'll go through them after we've gone through the vinyl. So we're going to start with new albums I replaced, albums I lost or uh, in the midst of time. I'm going to start with my favourite, one of my top five live albums, if you watch that. This is Live Rest by Neil Young and the Crazy Horse. This is on the famous tour for Rust Never Sleeps, and is an awesome album with two distinct sort of flavours to it, folky side and then the plugged in sort of amped up versions of some great tracks. Some of my favourite tracks of Neil Young are on here: Pocahontas and Like a Hurricane, Powderfinger, Cortez the Killer, etc., etc. So that's Live Rest. That's a new LP I bought last year. Another new LP I bought last year was Hitchhiker by Neil Young. Quite a nice cover there of Neil. It's a sort of lost album, I want to say. I don't know. It's got Powderfinger and Pocahontas is one of the reasons I like it. They're probably two of my favourite albums. Let's have a look what Hitchhiker, of course, Ride My Llama. It's well worth having a look at if you haven't ventured across it. There are lots of projects from Neil going around, as we know. The pride of my collection, I guess, is this. It's an original Time Fades Away, which was hard to come by for a lot of years, although as I'll show you in a minute, the CD's been released now. It's not an easy listen by any, but well, a lot of Neil's albums are not easy listens, I guess, but I would say mood albums. You've got to be the right mood to listen to them, and this is definitely that. Time Fades Away leads off in a journey into the past, and he understands the sinner, etc., etc. It's not as I said, it's a grower really, and that's Times Fade Away. It's original. All these are original LPs now. On the beach with the umbrella on the front there. So that's an original. Trans, an excursion into electronic music from Neil. Which at the time really got, I suppose, a bit of a pasting. But I listened to it recently and I quite like it now, which I didn't at the time. So probably asking why you bought the LP, but I was buying a lot of Neil at the time, trying to get into him and get all the. You never know what you're going to get when you're young, and that's the beauty of it in some ways. Neil's Lofgren is one of his long time cohorts is on this album. Which is definitely worth a listen if you have not heard it. And the final original LP is my favourite. Well, it's not real studio, see, because some of the tracks are live with the crowd applause taken off. Powderfinger is on here, and Pocahontas, of course. My hey and all that, and I'd rather die than fade away. Yeah, so that's the last of the vinyl LPs. That's Rust Never Sleeps. So onto the box sets now. They're all similar, although I will make a point of saying the first one, and they're called Official Release Series. So they've been upgraded. That's the first one, 1 to 4. I'm going to take the albums out, and the first album is the Neil Young album. Excuse me there. Let's get a bit of shine off the lovely sunny weather we're having. Neil Young. And then, as everybody knows, this is Nowhere with a dog. And then after the Gold Rush and Harvest in the first test, note that they are in traditional CD cases. Because as we move on to disc 5 to 8, there's the box 5 to 8. They're in slip cases, which is a minor irritant, I suppose. If you're a collector, the box is not the same size, stuff like that. On the shelf, it looks like slightly odd, but that's minor grumbles. In here, we got Time Fades Away, aforementioned, on CD, probably for the first time, I think. Not sure about that though. This is all done from memory, most of this. On the Beach again. Uh, Tonight's the Night, seminal Neil album, and Zuma with, correct me if I'm wrong, no, Cortez the Killer is on here. So that's the second box set. And we're on to the last box set, which is titled 8.5 to 12 Original Release Series. There's 5 albums in this. And we got Live Rust, Rust Never Sleeps. They're all in slip cases with quite a bit of play in them, and I've seen comments of that on the internet. Comes a Time, which is a undervalued album, I feel, as well. American Stars and Bars, just trying to get which way we up, yeah. There we go. It's an odd sort of way. I'll just turn it over because it tucked the albums on there. Stars, Bars, Like a Hurricane, etc. And finally, interestingly, Still's young band, Long May You Run, which is quite nice listen, more back to folky. So that's my rather small Neil Young collection, but perfectly formed, I would say. And I'll catch you next time for more delving into my collection. Thank you.